It was the mid 2000s, and I was settling into my new job. Imagine just looking the part, wearing the suit, the heels, working at an office, a traditional office. So you have these large cubicle spaces and then long hallways to go to the different common areas at the office. And it was, a Tuesday afternoon, and I get thirsty. So I decided, let me go to the kitchen. Let me go to the kitchen, just grab a glass of water to hydrate my thirst. As I get up and make my cubicle was right around the corner from one of these long hallways. I get up and I make my stroll down this long hallway. You can't really see anyone. Everyone's sitting down on their desks, so it's just you're walking towards your destination. And as I walk, my heels, all of a sudden, in the middle of my stretch to the kitchen, I involuntarily farted. Involuntarily farted. I about died. I was like, Earth, swallow me now. I can't think of any other moment in my life in which I have frozen, but I froze this time. I literally froze. When I came to, I just decided, okay, what can I do? What can I do? So I tried to think really quickly. Can I make my heels squeak a little bit, or what can I do so that if anyone, in case anyone had heard me, they wouldn't notice. So I tried to make some funny steps to try to make my heels squeak, and I just almost ran to the bathroom in sheer panic of, oh my goodness. Clearly, my body was telling me something that I was not paying attention to, and I had no idea about it. It probably was giving me alerts a long time ago, and I just simply hadn't paid attention to the details, to the little nuances. Well, so week one, day one, and we're talking about consciousness. Who are you? What are you about? What do you want your life to be about? What's important to you? What matters to you? Week one, consciousness is by far the hardest part of this work. It's the hardest part. It's the most important work that we have to do, and it's also the one that we least like to do. When you think about what is your most important relationship, of all the relationships you have with your parents, your loved ones, your friends, your family, your colleagues, and so forth, what's your most important relationship? It's the one with yourself. And it's often the one that we most often neglect altogether. We simply don't spend enough time on it. So, what I'm about to tell you is the most important thing I'm going to tell you in these 6 weeks together. It's the most important thing. And it's also the hardest thing, the one that you might have most resistance to, and the one that you might, be a bit disbelief about. So all I ask is that you listen with an open mind and an open heart and just, take it for what it is. Take it as this could be a possibility and see what it could mean for you. Okay? So imagine we're taking a stroll through any wonderful land of this marvelous world that we call Earth. And as we're taking this stroll, we stumble across a diamond. Yeah, just a diamond in the rough. We don't know how this happened. It seems rare to just stumble across a diamond, but we stumble across a diamond. It's a glorious diamond, nice carat size, good quality, good clarity. So you are this diamond. You are this precise diamond. But in order for this diamond to interact in this world, this 3D world, we put a body on top of that diamond. Obviously, you need a body to interact here. And on top of that body, we put a personality. Introvert, extrovert, friendly, more serious, bitter, whatever it might be. On top of that personality, we add an ego, to protect you from all the things that you've created about yourself. And on top of that ego, we add a social context, which to start with would be your family, a family context, the nuances of the family. Are you the only child? Are you one of many? Family together or separated, whatever it might be. Then on top of the family, we add a social context. What country were you born in? What time and place were you born in? All these things shape who you are. And then on top of that, we add tons of experiences, unlimited experiences. Everything from the place you chose to go to school to the places that you choose to work at, your first love, your pets, all these experiences that you have in life, holidays that you've taken and so forth. And everything, this becomes a huge mountain. The problem is not that we have this huge mountain of experiences and so forth, of these layers, is that we start believing that we are actually all of those layers, but we're actually just that diamond. We're just that diamond, that glorious piece of mineral that's the strongest source of the strongest mineral that we have on this earth. We're just that diamond. But since we start becoming attached to all of these layers, we then get stuck in them versus just allowing them to pass through us. We start thinking that maybe the trauma that we had at 16 when someone broke our heart or something went wrong at a party, that now is defining everything else in our lives, or that because based on our family context, it's defining everything that who we are from here on out. We, instead of letting these layers just pass through us, we become attached to them. So we go to psychologists and spend years working through our family and our emotional layers. We go through coaches to help us with our career layers. We go to physical, what's it called, trainers to help us improve our physical layer to get stronger and so forth. But we're just that diamond. So what if you actually remove some of those layers and told yourself a different story to connect with that diamond? Because the thing is, that diamond is the source of your wisdom. It's the source of your creativity. It's the source of your courage. It's the actual source that I'm looking for when I meet you, when I interact with you, when I see the glimmer in your eye. It's what I'm actually looking for, that diamond, connecting with your essence. What can we do then? And you're saying, okay, Steph, maybe you've gone totally off the left field. Now you're telling me to just get rid of my identity altogether. A little bit. I am saying that. Let's be clear. I am saying that. Because your identity is actually everything that you haven't thought about as your identity. Your identity is actually this diamond. But clearly, we live in this 3D world. You do need a body. You do need a personality. And your ego is kind of helpful every now and again in specific doses. My suggestion is that instead of becoming attached to these layers, to these experiences, they're simply experiences. Let them pass through. Don't get attached to them. So instead of becoming attached to these experiences, let them pass through. But the layers that we do need that are actually essential to function here are the body and the personality. What can we do to organize them a bit better, to see how they can function best to our benefit based on the life that we want to live? Well, to do that, I have some tools for you. Because once you connect with your diamond, with your truth, with your essence, once you connect with that, you realize that everything else is superfluous. Everything else. I take great care of my body. I take great care of my mind, my personality. I try to make it as easygoing as possible for me and for others. I do take good care of that. But I know at the end of the day, I'm just that diamond. I know the magic about me and the magic about you is just my diamond. So all the work that I've done to connect with that diamond, all the layers that I've taken away to make it easier to connect with my diamond, makes it easier and lighter to live life. Because you're actually congruent, you're actually connected with something that's far more important, something that's far more transcendental than the things we think we are. Oh, I'm a minority, or I was born in this type of family, or I have these types of degrees. Yes, I do, but I'm just that diamond, and so are you. So the tools to explore this together in these next couple of weeks, which I know this is not easy. I know this is not necessarily the most fun nor sexy work you're ever going to do, but it is so necessary. So the tools, a couple of tools to start off with. One is the pretzel wheel. All of these tools are in your notebook, and there are links below and attachments and so forth to make it really easy for you. The pretzel wheel comes from Pretzel Happiness, which is my book, which is it's a framework for holistic well-being. It covers the body, the mind, the heart, and essence. And in it, we measure things that are essential and interconnected for you to thrive. Not since we are here, we are in this 3D world and we have to be here. Let's help us, let's do our work to be as flourishing as possible. So in the pretzel wheel, we measure things what I call minimal services, things that in the body area to start off with. Minimal services are the things that you must have in order to function, which are respiration, excretion, and sleep. If these things are not functioning in your body, basically lights out. Then we have nutrition. Are you eating what's appropriate for your body and for this phase in your life? And we have physical exercise. Are you moving your body? Are you keeping it active for the type of life that you want to have? And lastly, we have sexual satisfaction. Regardless of your relationship type or the moment in your life that you're having right now, sexual satisfaction. Are you satisfied with the type of sexuality that you're having? So that's in the body. In the mind, we have self-control. Are you able to control yourself? And we have financial liberty, financial freedom. Have you looked at your finances and taken into account what you need to stop working? Is there a way for you to stop working? Do you know what amount of income you need to do that? In heart, we have self-esteem, and then we also have emotional ties. Do you have connections with people that are actually nourishing for you? And self-esteem, obviously, do you have a good range of measuring yourself? Do you see yourself appropriately? And in essence, lastly, we measure purpose. Do you have an ikigai, something that helps you get up in the morning? Intuition, are you able to listen to your inner voice that comes from the diamond? Also, we have legacy. Have you thought about what you're leaving behind? We always leave something behind. So what are you leaving behind? And lastly, personal development. What steps are you taking on a daily basis to improve yourself, or weekly, whatever it might be? So that's the pretzel wheel. That's your first tool to explore these two layers that are essential. So since we measure the body, so for example, when I mentioned my farting story, I had no body consciousness back then, and it's been a long journey to get there. So measuring these tools gives us visibility in terms of how are we in these different areas. That's a pretzel wheel. Secondly, we have the 16 personality inventory. This is a website. It's completely free. You can take it, and it's based on the Myers-Briggs, which some of you might have either taken for work or for other purposes. I like this tool a lot because it gives you a really analytical view as to what your personality traits might be, where you thrive, where you don't, things that you might like and you might not be so great at. It's there to give you more vocabulary, more insights on your personality. And a last reminder as we embark on this journey of consciousness is costs. Costs, like the brand and like anything else you might remember of costs. So C, curiosity. Be curious. Be curious. Why do I do what I do? Why do I interact? What triggers me? Be curious about yourself. O, for observe. Observe. How does this sit with me? Whether it's a person, whether it's a situation, whether it's a TV show, whether it's a book you're reading, just taking consciousness in terms of, oh, I just had an outlash, or maybe this is not sitting so well with me, and so forth. S, that first S is for solitude. We need solitude. You need some time alone for yourself, for your thoughts to just be, to just see what's going on and to organize what's going on. And lastly, and possibly the most difficult, silence. Yeah, silence. In 2024, silence seems like a gift that you actually have to pay to have silence. Between everyone going around with their AirPods, yeah, you too, going around with their AirPods, engaging in society, and no one is listening to the noises of the world around them, nor to anyone else around them. It becomes even more difficult to have silence, but to look for intentional moments of silence in which you can just connect with yourself, connect with your thoughts, connect with your feelings. Because if you don't do that, this work is actually impossible. Unless you create spaces, it's impossible for you to hear yourself in the noise of our society today. So, welcome to CRUDO. Let's do the work. See you tomorrow.